start the recording. And it is started. Good. Now I just gotta wait for Ruby to load. Gotta wait for it to launch. Yeah.
Lightning has been detected in your area.
Well, no shit, Storm Tracker. It's been thundering and lightning for like the last half hour.
I love it when it
Shit.
does that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I want to play with friends. None of my friends are online, though.
I'm getting there.
Shows a sad face.
I just tried grabbing my phone for the controller.
Phone troller. It'll be big.
Playing with friends. What? Refresh. What? I guess I'll create a lobby. Fuck it. So, are we gonna do a campaign or are we gonna try out Horde?
It doesn't really matter to me.
Alright, we'll do a little bit of Horde.
Multiplayer. Connecting. Play with friends. Oh, now I see you.
Woohoo! A little messy, eh?
Let's do this thing.
Yes, let's. Oh, gotta defend shit. Build turrets.
Have you done this before?
Nope, my first time.
Oh boy. This will be fun. Good times for all. Oh, it's not. But,
I had to turn down my volume.
An invading horde is headed this way. Whatever you do, don't let the security nodes fall.
Okay, I guess we're doing this.
Station 1 is under attack.
Why are you so bad at this? I'm just joking. Just joking, bro. You sound so loud.
Do I?
Yes, I hear everything that you're doing on your keyboard.
Damn it.
Well, this is why we're doing this, isn't it? So we can figure this out, but yeah. You are so loud. Do those team attacks. There we
Sister Synergy.
Station 1 is under attack.
So anyway, this is supposed to be an anime stream.
That
I
is
guess.
true. That is
Well,
true.
technically it's just kind of whatever we want to talk about, but I kind of figured since we're doing Ruby,
Right.
Grim Apocalypse, it's probably should be our anime stream.
It honestly should be.
So what have you been watching lately?
I actually started rewatching B Gotta HK.
I have not watched it, but I've heard good things.
It's actually pretty good. I mean, like it used to be on Netflix for a while.
Everything's been on Netflix, and then
Yeah.
Netflix gets rid of it because they hate us.
I'm gonna do that one.
But yeah, it's one of those situations where Netflix will get it in, and they'll be like, Netflix exclusive, and I'm like, sweet.
Right.
And then after a while, Netflix is like, yeah, we're not gonna. This didn't do good enough. We're gonna get rid of it. And then I'm like, aw, but my anime.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I've actually told you about the one I'm watching right now. It also goes by Yamada's First Time. It's
Yamada's first time was pretty decent.
yeah, and like, I've been watching that. I think I'm on. I just finished the first episode. Do my special. Do the special. Damn it. Other than that, I've been actually also watching the new Full Metal Panic season.
I have not started on it yet. I know I need to one of these days because I've always loved that franchise.
It's actually pretty good. I hate the fact that the episodes are still coming out, though.
It made me a sad panda that time that they stopped after the 3rd season. They're just like, I know we're right in the middle and things have been getting really good. We're just stopping now, and I'm like, oh, you guys are so full of shit.
Right?
It's just it was so brutal. And then I thought they were never gonna redo it. I'm like, this is it. We'll never get another Full Metal Panic. Game over. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And then suddenly it's like, hey, we're doing this. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh. Sweet.
Because, I mean, so far from what I've been able to see, or at least a few episodes I've watched of Invisible Victory, it's really good. I mean, I honestly can't say much about it, or I'll give away a lot of it.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I really wish I could talk more about it, but...
I've been following up on a couple new anime. Like, have you watched any of Overlord yet?
I have not. I've been meaning to get around to it, actually.
The 3rd season just finally appeared on Crunchyroll, and they've been starting to stream it, and I'm like, awesome. It's fun, good fun and games.
Alright, I need to move
It's
my
just
hand.
it's just annoying how the issue with Overlord though is they keep on getting sidetracked with characters that no one cares about. Well, it's just the problem with the show. I would say it's like my one pet peeve. It's like they have the main cast and I really like them. And then it's just like, hey, main cast, what are you guys doing? They're like, this episode those guys aren't going to appear like at all. We're going to have these side characters and I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure some of these side characters, I mean, they're somewhat important to the plot. Like, they do further it, but it's just like, at the same time, it's like, oh, I feel like we're getting way too sidetracked on this freaking show. For its own good. With these side characters, every season they do it. They introduce, like, new side characters. And I'm like, I don't care about these people, though. I want the main characters.
I'm down at Station 2.
Yes, I can see that you are, in fact, down. I'm coming. But yeah, that show gets... Oh, you have a big guy, that's why.
Yeah,
I wonder why you're down.
I literally got raped.
I don't think this isn't an 18+ game. I don't think you can be raped.
You know what I mean.
No, I think you must be playing with mods. I'm going back over to 3.
Station 3 is being overrun.
Station 3 is being overrun because I wasn't here to protect my station.
I'm sorry. Must get Aura back. Come on, Aura. Come to Daddy. Or come to Ruby, I guess. Ah, run away. Circle, 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 circle. Oh god! Circle, circle, circle.
Bad at this.
I am super bad. Damn it!
Oh my god.
Station 2 is taking damage.
I
That it
suck.
is. It's like playing with Trav all over again.
I'm sorry.
I am the healer. But yeah, I like Overlord. I'm hoping that it just keeps they just keep doing seasons for it till it finishes, because Port MVP, awesome.
Momentum shift.
Gonna be less bad at this game now.
Maybe.
I've also been watching My Hero Academia. They've been coming out with that's still coming out. You been watching any of that?
I've been watching a little bit here and there of it. In between the other anime I've been watching.
Well, I mean, it's still coming out, so it's one of those things.
Yeah.
But it's really good, though. Some people are like, "Oh, isn't that just like a shonen anime?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is, but there's good shonen anime, and then there's bad shonen anime, and this is good shonen anime."
Yeah, there is. I'll admit that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really haven't been getting into too many new animes lately.
Guard that station, student. A turret has been destroyed near.
I'm always watching new crap, but right now I'm watching Flame of Recca. It's an old anime,
Is being overrun.
I went down.
and it is very much in like that shonen style.
I've actually been, I've actually been considering watching the new Berserk.
Really?
Yeah, I've been considering it.
Being overrun.
Just to see if it is as bad as it supposedly is.
Oh, that's probably going to be something we are going to have to review, because I'm sure I'm sure it's going to be bad.
Station 2
Oh
is
my
critically
god.
damaged. Guard that station, student. Station
Ah,
3
shit, I'm down.
critically damaged. Protect
Shit.
it before it's too late.
We're going to wipe.
Oh dear.
Yep,
They've
yep.
wounded your partner.
This is happening.
I got you, buddy.
That was
It's over.
Damn it.
So bad at this.
Maybe I should go to Blake. I think I'd do better with Blake.
I should probably switch out as well. As much as I love Yang, best girl.
I really need to.
I have no
need-
problem admitting that my best character is Jean.
I really need to get the DLC.
You don't have the DLC for this game?
Nope, I haven't gotten it yet.
Private refund. I don't know how I inspect.
Oh yeah, this feels more natural.
team. Keep those security nodes online at all costs.
I mean, the main campaign should have us, prepped for this kind of shit.
It's fine. It's all fine. Now, Jean was set up for team attack, so get ready to spam that team attack button.
Did I look like I needed help?
Wow, she's kind of a bitch about this, isn't she?
Just one shot in these bitches, huh?
Station 1 is under attack.
Well, Jean creates a buff, is his ultimate, and it doubles like everyone's damage. So I mean, that's how that works.
We're literally two characters that create team attacks.
I don't know. I haven't played as your character. I have no idea how.
Well, remember the first time we played this? I like was constantly be like team attack, team attack.
I have like 4 set up right now for you. So I mean, anytime you feel like team attacking. But ooh.
We set up one.
Well, there's a lot set up right now.
Holy shit. There was.
That's all John does is set up the team attacks. Oh, I suppose we could talk about the Ruby anime since we're playing the game.
That is true. We could actually talk about the Ruby anime.
We're so organized. We're so organized here.
Right? I mean,
Did I look like I needed help?
like, to be perfectly honest though,
Even a scratch on those security notes
I
that time.
I did lose interest in Ruby after a while.
Yeah, the 4th and 5th seasons have definitely been weaker than the first 3 were.
Yeah.
I've just kind of been hoping that they would, that they'll recapture the magic now that they got the whole team back at the end of the 5th season.
Right.
Because that was so annoying. And like, oh, we're separating everyone. I'm like, okay, how many? And then it's like, how long is this gonna take? And it's like 2 seasons later. Oh, everyone's finally back together. And I'm like, ah, you guys, you can't separate the whole Team Ruby for 2 seasons. That kind of ruins the synergy.
Exactly.
They have this awesome thing going on together, and then it's just like, yeah, we're gonna separate everybody. And I'm like, I don't care for whatever sort. I don't care how you want to do this with the story. There's just no point in separating the entire team.
Yeah.
Like I could have seen like maybe splitting it in half or something, but it's just like, no, everyone's just separated. I'm just like, it lost a lot of the magic. So, and I'm intentionally being vague because I don't want to say anything for spoilers.
Right.
I don't want to really go into it and then be like, oh, I haven't watched that show yet, and then be like, wow, you just spoiled season 3 for me, because all the spoilers happen in season 3.
Yep. Yep. I mean, that's the one downside though of like talking about anime, is because like some people haven't had the chance to see them. Or certain
Well, that's
things.
why I'm intentionally trying to keep it vague on for something like that.
Yep. I mean, wow, I get that buff even this far away from you?
Yeah,
Damn.
it's I'm down.
One of your teammates is injured and needs
I
help.
got ganked, but yeah, it's pretty OP because it doesn't matter how far away you are.
Ow, fuck you.
But yeah, I feel like Ruby is one of those shows that needs a certain amount of critiquing later after the 4th season starts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oops. I mean, it's just like, I've tried watching, like, sitting down and, like,
They're
fully
good.
watching
They're good.
through it.
There are good parts in the 4th and 5th season. Like, you can see the magic is still kind of there, but at the same time, there are some. It just feels like,
3 is being
because think about it. Like, most of the characters are just kind of standing around talking. Like, there's no action, like there was in the first 3 seasons. There was always action in the first 3 seasons. They're like, oh, it's a new episode. Well, I guess we could take a break this one episode and not have like a cool fight scene. And I'd be like, okay. I'm fine with this. Occasionally not having a fight scene, but that's what so much of season 4 and 5 feel like. It's just people standing around talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop talking, start doing cool things.
I mean, I was having fun with it for a while, but then
The first 3 seasons are amazing.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's just I had trouble. I just had trouble staying hooked on it. They lost me when it was just like, oh, on occasion conversation, on occasion fighting, and then damn it, I'm down.
I'll be over there. But no, it was good till the 4th season started. That's one thing. I was gonna say that was close, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had 2 seconds before I was in spectating mode.
Station 3 is critically damaged. We're probably gonna wipe because I had to go res you.
I'm sorry.
Yep. It's all over.
Hey, at least I only went down once. So I mean that you know is a plus.
That's true.
But I mean, yeah, like the first 3 seasons of Ruby, I loved them. But then it was just the whole, you know, fact of some fighting, mostly talking. I mean, I get it, character development. I do.
The thing is, they had plenty of character development in the first 3 seasons without them just standing around talking all day.
Right.
It just feels like we're just stuck with looking at everyone's home life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. Your parents and you don't get along. Cool story. Can we get back to the fun part of this show?
Exactly. But I mean,
I hate having to be so vague, but I don't want to spoil anything.
right? I mean, like if we could find like
An invading horde is headed this way.
an
Whatever you
older
do, don't
anime
let
or
the
something to
security
talk
know.
about, that would probably be okay. Because honestly, if like you know spoilers,
Okay, Dragon Ball Z, everyone dies,
everyone does die essentially. Like literally.
but they all come back to life because Dragon Balls. So, not really spoilers.
Nope.
It's their own fault. When you create something in your universe that literally allows you to grant any wish in existence, it's kind of like, yeah, people are gonna come back to life,
However,
especially Krillin.
the one thing I have no problems talking about at all, though, Dragon Ball Super.
Let's never speak of this again.
Hey, it's not as bad as GT. I mean, we can talk about
Nothing.
GT.
I don't think anyone watched GT. I think one guy showed up, watched an episode, and said, "Wow,
Every time.
hope that never comes to America." And then it did, and then everyone was sad.
But you know, I'll say this though, like, there's only certain parts of GT that I actually liked. Because, like, after the Baby Saga, it wasn't bad.
Baby Saga, I remember this. Oh god, it was so.
Yeah.
How do you screw that up? How do you screw it up? So simple. Their
Just-
formula is so simple.
Just like they screwed up the Boo Saga.
Everyone hates on the Boo Saga, but I kind of like the Boo Saga. I mean, yeah, he's just gigantic anthropomorphic blob. But I always thought Boo and Hercule were amazing together.
I did too.
Like, that's what made the Boo Saga good, was Boo and Hercule when they would interact.
I mean, God damn it, I'm having difficulties. Oh, Oh, Blake. Sorry.
Is Blake your waifu?
One of them, yes. She's not number one though.
She's not level number 1 waifu.
Nope, she's not number one. She's maybe number 3. Definitely number 3. Number 1 would have to be Yoko. From Gurren Lagann. Well,
I have some issues with the ending of Gurren Lagann.
well, everybody has their issues with the ending of Gurren Lagann.
Mine are critical issues though.
Station 1 is under attack.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
because they like, oh man, I've gotten into this art. I've gotten into it with people over it.
Well, I kind of like to hear this, 'cause I don't think you've ever told me your issues.
I would have to rewatch it to properly
Station 1 is critically damaged.
talk about this. Oh man, we really gotta defend.
We got distracted.
Yeah, we got a little sidetracked talking about things.
Yep. So I mean, I love personally. I enjoyed the ending of Gurren Lagann more than I did Soul Eater.
Soul Eater's ending was way too philosophical for its own good. Like, I can totally understand why the average person was just like, what the F?
Well, it wasn't even that. It was the fact that nobody ever got their weapon upgraded to a fucking death scythe and took
That's
out the
true,
big
and
baddie.
that was like the whole point of the like show, like the first season. Like, oh man, we gotta get our death slides. And then my issue always was though is like the really good villains, like they just kind of ignored them and they introduced a new villain in the 3rd season. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
3 is being overrun.
Yeah. Are you down?
Yeah, like the no,
Okay.
I'm still up.
Oh, okay.
You'd see a hunter has fallen or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it was one of those situations. I remember watching and just thinking to myself like who is this dude? Because they introduce him and he's like, he's the embodiment of chaos or where the hell it was. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. But I don't care. He wasn't a fun enemy because he was a mindless killing machine.
Yeah.
He had no motive. When we already had multiple bad guys that we knew what their motives were. We had the witch that was like the snake lady. I don't remember the names. But
Yeah,
she
neither
was
do
really
I.
good, and then she like uses that little girl as like a hostage. I'm like, oh, this is great. I love her. She's like the best villain in the show. And they're just like, yeah, we're gonna ignore her now. And I'm like, why are we ignoring her? And then they also ignored this, and then they brought in the spider lady, the spider witch lady, and I'm like, okay, she's also pretty cool. And they're like, yeah, we're also gonna ignore her. I'm like, you already have 2 really good villains that I find interesting. Why are we adding a 3rd villain?
Right.
And he's gonna be the main villain, and he's just gonna be running around being like, I'm a mindless killing machine, and it's just like, you're not fun. You're not enjoyable. You have no real purpose here.
Never saw it coming.
I'm not invested in you at all.
Oh, I actually have all the turrets up for
And
Station 2.
I don't like to have up more than one. But yeah, so the 3rd season of Soul Eater definitely requires to be thrown in the trash. It
Yeah.
was there was no point in adding this new villain. The new villain was just he was just so he's so bad.
Well, the fact that you know they're like saying, you know, in order to beat, you know, this thing
Yeah, in
that's sealed
order to
away.
beat him, like you had to you had to get past his insanity. I'm like, okay, well this is interesting, but I guess kind of.
And then the simple fact that at this point, I don't care. Soul Eater's been out for a while now. You know, the fact that they were able to beat him with bravery. It's like, what the fuck?
to me it always kind of made sense because they just had to get past his insanity because he was using his insanity as a shield
Yeah.
because he was actually a coward. I'm like, okay, this kind of makes sense and it's somewhat interesting, but he's just a killing machine. Like we had to learn this from like dialogue from other people explaining all of this to us in the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when we have to have all these other people explain what the hell's going on with the character and not have him explain it, it's kind of like, okay.
I just found it completely fucking. Oh my god, that's a lot of people.
Yep, I'm gonna come down and add an extra turret down here for you
Thank you.
because I had enough to fill up all of my stations with turrets, but I wasn't. Well, I was like, yeah, I better.
I only had enough to do one.
I figured that because you said you'd spent all that money in the last stations. I'm like, no, when we get to this last spot. But yeah, so yeah, the third season just it didn't seem like it didn't add anything. Adding that new the new guy to have him fight.
Yeah.
It didn't add anything to it. The witches were already there. They were running around. They were raising. They were both interesting. There was just no reason to add a new like boss character. Did you need me to come down and aid you?
No, I'm just dealing with the big dude.
I am too, but I have all three of my turrets up and they just ate him alive. But yeah, the first two seasons of Soul Eater were really good.
Yeah, I know. I fucking loved it. The first two seasons, it was amazing. Ooh, turrets times 10. Cool.
And then they blotched it. Well, that's kind of where I am with Gurren Lagann. I just did not like the last couple episodes because, can I do spoilers?
Oh yeah, fuck it. Do spoilers. It's an old enough anime.
Because if we're gonna talk about this, I mean, I need to talk about like the super big spoilers for that show.
Go for it. It's been around for a while, and you know, chances are not many people would find it interesting to watch in the first place.
Really? I always thought it was pretty popular when it came out that time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I fucking loved it.
Because I think it was because of Yoko. That's her name, right?
Yep, Yoko.
Yep. It was Yoko. That's what everyone loved. But what is the princess? I don't know what the hell her actual name was.
Yes, I don't remember. I think it's a lot of people.
I did not like how they how they killed her. They're just like, oh yeah, she's dead now, and I'm like, what? What do you mean she's dead? Like, yeah, she's dead because they defeated the final boss characters, and those guys were keeping her alive, and I'm like, what do you mean they were keeping her alive? Well, they were keeping her alive because she was their spy, her unknowing spy. On what? Yeah, she's a spy. She didn't know it. They were using her to monitor the Earth. What? And because they're all dead now, now she's dead too. But apparently she could just will herself not to die for a while or something. And I'm like, wait, what? What? Like, yeah, she's dying now. Look at everyone. She just died. Have the feels. And I'm like, lame. Do you need me down there? And I'm like this. I'm still coming down. I think this is the end. I have plenty of turrets up at 5. But so she dies, and my only thought was, this doesn't make any sense because because they said she was dead because all of the bad guys were gone. Like she couldn't live without them for some reason. But then they also like mentioned that it was like it was just a huge coincidence because neither of us died. Awesome.
Right?
It was just a huge coincidence. Like her father even says like, oh man, it's so weird because there's like only like a 1 in a million chance that she was gonna be the spy. And I'm like, so it could have just been some random person we never heard of, but it just happened to be one of the main characters of the show.
Right. I mean,
That was this unknowing spy for the bad guys. I'm like, this feels ridiculously convenient.
I felt bad. Like, you know, like honestly, the only character name I can actually remember from that anime is Yoko. I honestly can't remember the other characters' names. I remember what they look
I don't know.
like.
I just remember getting in the end. And I just felt so insulted that they just killed this character, just because I guess they just wanted the feels. That's what it felt like to me. It's just like, oh man, we really want everyone to feel really bad at the end of the show because
They kind of pulled a Dragon Ball Z too, at the end, at the very end. They kind of pulled a Dragon Ball Z too, because in order to unlock Gurren Lagann's true form, they had to have the help of all the Spiral citizens, I believe it was.
oh yeah, and they all had to give him their energy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was totally bullshit. They like they say, and I would have been like, fine. So is she just happened to be this 1 in a million chance that it just happened to be her. Fine, coincidences happen. Even if I thought it was super cheap and they did zero foreshadowing, but then, like at the very end, like 5 minutes left on the show, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And I'm like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Hey, there's these new people. There's remnants of the bad guys." I'm like, "Remnants of the bad guys?" Like, yeah, there was apparently still a few of them left. And I'm like, "Wait a minute. The reason why she died is because they were all dead. But now more of them show up?"
Yeah.
So wait, what? And so I'm just like sitting here yelling at my screen. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right? I mean, like I hate bashing on it because Gurren Lagann was honestly
No, it
one
was
of my-
amazing all the way up until
Yeah.
that point. I had no complaints until like that last 2 or 3 episodes. Then I'm like, things are getting a little weird here. Like
Yep.
that's where it felt like up to then I was like 10 out of 10, and then I'm like, why, what? Huh? We're probably gonna wipe because I'm using a level 1 character, but no, I really feel like they really dropped the ball for those last couple episodes. There, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It just feels like you're really trying their best to make me feel sorry, to really give me the feels.
Set you up. Set you up again.
Sweet. Ouch. I'm done. You have to kill a whole bunch of... Okay, yeah, you got him.
Whoops, wrong
But,
button.
yeah, I feel like I would actually have to do a proper, like, rewatching of Gurren Lagann to really go through and explain my issues. Because I know there's going to be those people that are going to be like, I hate you. I hate you
Right.
for saying anything bad about my show. But I have to, because it really just felt super bad to me, those last couple episodes. Like, they were really trying to get me to have the feels.
Like the one thing I
Because
hate...
they killed off that one dude like halfway through, and it was really an emotional moment when he died.
Hell,
and,
it was,
like,
only,
I
that
really-
was only 3 episodes in, actually. It was like...
Was it only 3 up?
Yeah, it was
I
like-
wanted. Are you sure it was only 3 episodes in when they killed him off that time?
Yeah, well, okay, about 4 episodes.
I don't think it was only 3 episodes. He made it longer than that, but when he died, like, everyone was super like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, yeah, they nailed that. That was a very emotional moment. And I just felt to me like that's what that whole thing was when they killed off the princess, was just like, oh man, we really got to recapture that, because they kept on killing off all those random characters that no one remembered their names for.
Right.
Like, all these people are dying, like, oh my God, we've just had so many people die. I'm like, why the hell are all these random dudes dying that I never, like, bothered to learn their names? Like, all these guys are dying. Why are all these dudes dying?
Sometime, though, we gotta sit down and watch Skull Man.
There's a lot of stuff we gotta watch.
There is. There is a fuck ton of stuff we gotta watch.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on Gurren Lagann just because I disagreed with the last couple episodes, but they really turned me off. It really did.
However, to this day, I don't care what people say. My one of my all-time top favorites would have to be Mobile Suit Gundam, the 8th MS team.
A lot of people just hate on like everything Gundam. I don't know why. There are some good Gundam.
Yeah, dude. There's actually quite a few good Gundams. The 8th MS team
I never really liked the original Gundam that much though, and I know that is another thing that is very much blasphemy with certain people.
Right?
But it just never really, it just always felt super, oh, that was bad leg. It always felt super forced to me. It's just like, oh, we should make him a pilot because his father, like, works on mobile suits? What? But he's just some random kid. Yeah, but his father works on mobile suits, he should be a pilot. And he piloted that Gundam, like, one time for, like, 5 minutes and managed to take out 2 mobile suits. He's obviously gifted. And I was like, no, it just means he was in a Gundam, and Gundams are freaking OP. That'd be like giving me a max level character in like an MMO and being like, hey, you used that max level character in an MMO and killed a whole bunch of low level guys in PvP. Yeah, I did. I'm amazing at this game now because of that, huh? Like, yeah, you are. It's like, no, it's because I had a max level character with really good gear. That's what the Gundams are. You have a max level character with good gear.
Yeah.
And he kills all those dudes that time. And I'm just like, okay, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna have you just pilot the Gundam now. I'm like, yeah, but there's like way better, but there was like the one dude on the ship. He had like 20 years of experience or some crap like that. He was like an ace pilot. And he's just like, why didn't I get to pilot the Gundam? Because the kid was the first one to pilot the Gundam and he did a good job at it. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Now,
That's not an argument. It's not an argument why you just have this kid that's never piloted a Gundam before suddenly be your pilot.
Another one, a fun one to discuss. Evangelion.
Cool. I've never understood why that became popular.
Neither do I. Neither do I. I mean, I've so far in my time of watching anime, I've watched that series, I think, 4 times now. I think.
Honestly, it came out. I know why it's popular, and it's because it came out in the early 90s, and there just weren't that many anime coming to the States. So anything that made it over here was kind of going to get at least a certain amount of following.
That, and it was riding the tail coat of the popularity of the Gundam series.
Well, that and because the first few episodes weren't terrible, like, you could tell they really blew their budget. Like, on that first couple of big fight scenes, like when Asuka appears. Like, that was a really good fight scene.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Yeah, like, that episode, like, they really, like, threw it. The thing is, they blew the budget on that. Like, you could tell. Like, they went way over budget, I've heard, on the show. And I'm like, yeah, well, of course they did. Have you seen how much money they spent on some of those early episodes?
Yeah.
And so that's what hooked people in that time.
I mean... Oh, and I found out how many fucking balloons are in my shower. There's over 70 balloons in my fucking shower right now.
I love that you bring this up when no one has any idea what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, I was just kind of continuing from what we were talking about earlier.
Like, people were not following the... Like, if anyone actually watches this, they were not privy to this information about you in your shower.
This is true.
This happened before we started recording.
This is
They're
true.
gonna be like, what? So there's gonna be that one dude that watches this, and he's gonna say, what is he talking? Balloons in his shower, what?
This is true. I didn't think of that, but I figured it was notable information towards you.
Yes, it is notable information towards me, but no one has any idea what you're talking about right now.
This is true. I forgot.
It's not even an inside. I can't even call it an inside joke. It's like an inside prank.
It is. It really is. I mean, wouldn't you be pissed though if you went to go take a shower and there's 70 balloons in your shower?
Yeah, I would be kind of like, who threw all these balloons in my shower? We're probably gonna wipe because I went with level 1 character into here.
Well, if you need help, just let me know.
No, I'm doing it. I'm just afraid that my station will wipe before we get that far. But yeah, we were talking about Evangelion and
Yes.
all of its issues.
Like the very ending is just a big ass fucking.
Oh god, it was.
Oh.
It's just.
It made my head hurt.
It felt so cheap.
Like we thought Soul Eater had a philosophical kind of ending. God. I know Evangelion was supposed to be like psychological and shit.
I hate when people make the argument. It's all psychological. It's just like a deep psychological. I'm like, shut up. No, it wasn't. I hate when people try to make that argument to explain why the game, why whatever it is they were watching was shit.
But in this case, the ending of Evangelion was very psychological. You're set up.
As soon as I run over to the other guy. But it was one of those anime that I just sat down after I watched it and was like, why is this popular?
Cool, I'm the real MVP.
Oh, we're going to the new stations.
Yes, sir.
Crap, I don't even have enough money to set up one turret. I suppose, I always liked Asuka in Evangelion, though. I know some people hated Asuka, but I always thought Asuka was, like, the only good part of the show. Because at least it made sense for her to be the way she was.
Right.
Like, Shinji's just like, my dad doesn't love me, and I'm like, shut up, Shinji. I don't care.
Didn't like Asuka's mom, like, hang herself or something?
Yes. She hung herself, and not only did she freaking hang herself, she actually has a little doll, if you look at it closely, what's going on there. She has a little doll hung up next to her where she hung herself, and this doll has a little, like, sign on it that says Asuka.
Oh shit, I never caught that.
Yep. So, not only did she fucking hang herself, she got a goddamn doll that looked just like her daughter and hung it up next to her.
Oh my... We lost because of me, because I got fucking...
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, Jesus, I didn't think I was doing that bad.
No, like all the enemies were at me, and there was just like 4 big dudes. But no, I.
But yeah, Asuka, it made perfect sense why she was so psychologically just destroyed. Like, I never had that moment where I was like, oh, why is Asuka so messed up in the head? Oh.
Now, was Rey always like did they ever actually confirm whether or not Rey was a clone of Shinji's mother?
Technically, she was a clone of Shinji's mother and Adam, because remember they mixed her DNA to make her. The question I think the argument always was is whether or not she had been killed and replaced multiple times. Like, I think that was, like, an argument, if I remember correctly. Like, oh, she's died multiple times, and that's why she's so fucked up in the head, because she's just a clone of a clone of a clone or some shit, and that never really made sense to me. But she definitely was, like, DNA from his mother and from Adam were used to create her. That part's definitely true.
How I loved I think her name was Misao.
Everyone liked Misao.
Yeah, dude, Misao is fucking
An
awesome.
invading horde is headed this way.
And the
Whatever you
scientist
do,
bitch.
Don't let the security nodes fall.
I can't remember her name. She was a cunt. So.
Yeah, but those two are smoking hot.
Shinji was such a little bitch.
He
I
was.
hated Shinji.
Like, dude,
I hated Shinji so much.
If I was in Shinji's case and I was surrounded
Like,
by that many hot
yeah,
women,
yeah, Shinji's like, oh my god, my life is so hard. I'm surrounded by like 5 or 6 really attractive women every day. And some of them actually like me for some reason. And it's just like, oh, you poor baby. You poor baby. And he gets to literally buy a gigantic mech suit.
right? Like that'd be
Oh.
any kid's fucking dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Surrounded
It's like,
by a bunch
come
of hot
on.
women and
He's surrounded by attractive women, and he gets to fly gigantic mecha and save the world.
yeah.
Feel sorry for me. It's like, no, bitch, you are living the dream.
Could you consider Shinji to be the original puny Nari?
Yes. Although I doubt many people will have any idea what we're talking about unless they've watched that show, but yes.
In case if anyone's curious, we're referring to Girls Bravo.
That's a show we're gonna have to review and talk about how bad it was.
Station 1 is under attack.
You know, but for like a show to like just sit down, shut your brain off, and watch, it wasn't.
It was bad.
terrible.
It's a bad show. Stop trying to defend it. It was bad.
Okay, yeah, the only thing that had going for it was its fan service.
Yes, that is exactly all it had going.
I mean... Oh, I leveled up. I gained a level.
You gained a level. Nora's OP.
Station 1 is under attack.
I wish I could use my sniper. But no, I just shoot. You know, have you ever really listened to Ruby's laugh? Or well, no, that'd be Nora's laugh.
Nora's. Yes, Nora's got a very evil laugh. Set one up for you.
Is under attack.
Okay. You know, sometimes Ruby kind of throws me off. I know she's technically younger than like most huntresses.
Yeah, she's like a year or two younger than the rest of the characters.
But like, have you ever noticed like the voice they gave her kind of makes her almost like in between like a baby and a child's kind of voice?
Okay.
At least with some of the things she says, anyway.
That's because Ruby is a child at heart.
So would that make Nora a psychopath at heart?
Yes, she has talked about breaking people's legs continuously. And she is queen of the castle. But who doesn't love that boop?
Now, are you just shooting people?
Yes.
That is
What
so
can I say?
OP.
Yup, Nor's probably got the best ranged attack in the game, I would argue. Like I said, Nora's OP. And then she's got like the spin attack combo she can do that's just, that's brutal as well.
I mean... So... Any other, like, anime you're, like, looking forward to?
Coming out?
Coming out or looking forward to watching? that you haven't-
Besides what I've already... Are you
Yeah.
gonna do Station 2?
Yeah.
I just have this really long list on Crunchyroll, and I just kind of go through it. And then there's a few I'm just following that are still coming out. And I think I've covered all the ones I've talked about that I'm watching them as they come out, which is Overlord and My Hero Academia.
Oh my god. The ponage here. Holy shit.
What I'm watching right now is, I remember mentioning earlier, it was called Flame of Rekka.
Yeah, what is that about? I've never actually heard about
It's
it.
I like watching obscure anime no one's ever heard of. It was actually in English, though, which really surprised me for Crunchyroll. Because Crunchyroll doesn't have anime in English, so I'm like, oh, if this is in English, this is probably, like, really old, isn't it? And it was. It's old cell. It's like old cell animation.
Mm.
You can tell. So I know it's gonna sound like Naruto for the first couple seconds, but there's this guy, and he's a ninja.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I know. I'm starting with the Naruto description, but this is much older than Naruto. And he wants to be the best ninja. I know. Like I said, I'm describing Naruto at the moment. But aside from this, it veers off very quickly from Naruto.
Okay.
And since this was around before Naruto, I'm gonna make the argument that Naruto just stole this idea.
Okay.
They just stole the basics. It starts out, and he's just this young dude. Like I said, he wants to be a ninja, and everyone thinks he's kind of weird for his obsession with ninjas. And he meets this young woman, and she's all like, okay, this is kind of weird with you and your ninja thing, but I mean, you're nice. I mean, you just saved my life. Because he saves her from being crushed to death by, like, some pipes or some shit that are falling at this construction site, which seemed kind of cliche, but apparently she's actually a healer. So she's able to heal him, even though he's, like, bleeding out to death, and he's like, okay, that's kind of weird. And she's like, yeah, I can heal people. And I'm like, cool, that's convenient. We have a healer in our party. But he decides that he thinks she's really hot, and he's like, and he starts calling her his princess, which is a little disturbing.
Well, excuse me, princess.
But no, it's because he's a ninja, and that's kind of, you know, like, as a ninja, he serves his lord kind of thing going on.
That's really not fair.
That's kind of where that comes from. So he devotes his life to her, is what he says. He's like, I'm devoting my life to you, and
I got like 2 big guys on me.
I'm coming.
Attacking the station.
That you do. Oh wow, yeah, you do have 2 big guys.
Station 2 is critically damaged. Go
That is very critically damaged.
A turret has been destroyed near Station 3. Station 3 is being overrun.
If you want, you can go back to Station 3. I can handle it from here.
So anyway, so he saves this girl, and then she kind of saves him back, but he says to her that he's going to devote the rest of his life to her. She's his princess. It's kind of creepy, but so they get together and they're running around kind of doing their thing, but there's this, and he has like some friends, and they're all like, you're you know, it's kind of weird that you're a ninja, but it all seems kind of cool. But there's this evil, but there is a bad guy, and he's kind of like, and fuck, and he's decided that, shut up, Port, and he's decided that that his girlfriend, I guess, is going to help him become immortal, because she has this healing power. So he's all like, holy shit, I want this healing power this young woman has. And so he sends out his like goons to capture her. And then things get weird, because the goon he sends out to capture her is also a ninja.
Now hold on.
And
You say, and then it gets weird. So everything you were saying prior to that was not weird?
no, it wasn't weird. Like it just seems like he just has this obsession with like ninjas and stuff. And like the whole thing with her healing, I'm just like, whatever. Every good anime needs a healer, right?
Yeah.
Like none of this seemed that far out to me. But he's and the thing is, so she's captured, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go save her because she's my princess, and she is literally brought into a castle.
Oh. So he's gonna play some Mario then?
Yes, and I really felt like this was a very Mario moment. Like your princess is in another castle. Like I wanted that to happen. Like he gets there to the castle with his friends to save his princess, and then just like there's just some dude standing there like, hey, your princess is in another castle. But that's not what happens, unfortunately. She is in fact there, and the evil bad guy is running around, has his like best ninja like running around, who's apparently his son, protecting this castle and stopping him from rescuing the princess. But it turns out that he's actually this dude's brother.
What?
Because shut up. I'm getting to it, and they're actually from the past. They were transported in time to the future. Or to the present, I guess you could say. Yup. I told you it was gonna get weird. You're like, up to this point that wasn't weird? No, it wasn't. Not compared to what we're on into. So yes, apparently they're actually brothers. Well, they're half brothers. And they're from the past. They got teleported to the present from by their mother. Well, the one they share the same father, but Rekka got transported to the present by his mother. She was trying to save him from being killed when he was a baby. And so she used her ancient ninja techniques to teleport him to the present.
I didn't know ninjas had that capability.
Apparently they do in this world, because they have these special like weapons that this ninja clan has created, and these weapons give you like different powers, like control over like wind or water or earth or heart, so you can summon Captain Planet. Okay, there's no Captain Planet. You don't collect all the elements, but there's definitely like elemental type things, and like some of them are better than others. Some of them are just like weapons that just kind of look cool, but or just do like stupid things. But so yeah, these were, and so apparently yeah, so they have like, so the time travel thing doesn't seem that weird to me. I'm like, well, if you guys can literally create weapons that allow you to like control like water and fire and shit, fine, whatever. Time travel, why not?
Makes sense.
So yeah, but no, things like I said, it wasn't weird. It wasn't weird now. Till I got to that point, like up to this point, I've been like watching, like okay, like they're ninjas, fine, whatever, and then suddenly it's like time travel, and I'm like, God damn it, why? I don't know why I honestly don't know why I'm still watching it. I just kind of want to. I guess I just want to see how it ends.
I would kind of want to see how that ends as well. After sitting through all that weird. After that point, I'd feel I was invested.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm too deep into it now. I want to see how. Oh, also his mother's still alive, even though she teleported him like 400 years into the present from when they lived, because apparently she was cursed with immortality. This is apparently a thing that happens when you teleport people through time. You are cursed with immortality. So his mother's still alive. Which is kind of weird, but his mother's hot. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with Rekka with your mother being alive. Because she's a MILF.
Damn it, I gotta wait. Gotta wait another level. Bah humpa. Oh god, gotta move.
Yeah, we do. You gonna take 2?
Yeah, I'll take 2.
But no, that's what I'm watching right now, and there's it's really just all an excuse for them to run around and like have like the fighting tournaments now, because that's where we're at. That's where they're at, and they're like, oh man, we're gonna enter this fighting tournament. I'm like, great, now I'm gonna be stuck in this goddamn fighting tournament for how many episodes? So it feels like we're very much going down the Dragon Ball Z line. Like, we need to pad this shit out now, rather than just get on with the main plot.
Damn it, I'm down.
Station 2 is taking damage.
Okay, I'm on my way. But yeah, like I said, whenever time travel comes into play, things get goddamn weird.
Whenever time travel comes into play, things just get thrown out the fucking window.
They do.
I mean, fuck. Like.
But yeah, when they revealed like the whole time travel thing, I was just like, oh god, what the hell?
There's one anime I haven't watched in years. It's like the last time I watched it was back when Toonami had their like online web or like their webisode kind of deals. And that was Record of Lodos Wars.
Oh, I remember that. Good times.
I remember me and Steve used to, like, every, I think, like, Saturday morning or Saturday evening, we would, watch Record of Lodos Wars. It's like they'd release episodes weekly.
Yeah, I remember that show. D-Lit was hot.
Yeah.
And it was very much like a Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it again, because I vaguely remember it.
I remember the opening for it was like really good. Like the opening theme song was so intense. It would pump me up to watch that show, because it felt extremely like it was just the ultimate like Dungeons and Dragons opening. And not like American Dungeons and Dragons, like open, because you know they actually had that Dungeons and Dragons cartoon that time.
Yeah.
And it was really bad. So I always kind of thought Lotus Wars was Dungeons and Dragons done correctly.
Ouch. Did you ever watch Toonami's Midnight Run?
Yeah, I used to watch that many years ago.
Dude, I loved, like, a lot of the animes that they showed, like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, shit like that they had on Midnight Run. I loved how they had different opening themes for it.
Back in my day.
God, just talking about the Midnight Run, I feel old as shit.
It wasn't that many years ago.
A
Oh my
turret has
God.
been destroyed near Station 3.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I got distracted. I'm down, Terry.
I know.
Okay.
I have so many enemies. But yeah, I'm running.
Station 3 is critically damaged.
Station tree is critically
I
damaged.
think we're
They've
boned.
taken out a turret near Station 2. Station 2 is critically damaged. Guard that station.
I'm gonna try to get to. Jesus! It is over.
It's over.
9,000. Yep,
That was
that's it.
unsuccessful.
Shut up, Port.
I love how he could just be so,
Casual
yeah,
about it.
yeah. What a dick. So
Yeah.
have you beaten the story mode with both Yang and Ruby as
Oh.
a team?
No. Oh, what's going on? Why am I suddenly kicked back out to here?
I don't know. I haven't done nothing.
Kicked me out.
I'm just sitting
I
at the
don't know.
main lobby.
Yeah, I don't know. It kicked me out. Strange. Coming back in. I wonder if maybe I hit the wrong button, but anyway. Never used Ren. I have no idea if he's any good or if he's garbage. You know, there are different horde modes.
Are there?
Yes.
Cause like there's Mountain Glen and Forever Fall.
That's what I'm saying. There's like 3 different ones.
Oh, we'll check
Just
out
gone to
Mountain
the
Glen.
Just gone on the same one every time.
Well, I didn't know there was different ones. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play.
Well,
as
that's
Reese.
why I mentioned it, because you know, we haven't done any of the other ones.
But it's essentially the same kind of concept, though.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And you said, I'm assuming Ren's probably gonna be a lot like Whis, probably crowd control.
I have no idea what his powers are.
The horde is coming. Prepare for battle.
Well, if the Horde's coming, where's the Alliance at? I mean, I raise a good point, don't I?
I don't know.
Station 1 is under attack.
Station 1 is under attack, though, bro. Ren seems to be very much about them combos.
I noticed this.
That's what teammates are for.
Okay, Ren, let's see all your ultimate. Oh!
Is under attack.
Oh. I just kind of go around and
Damn,
dash
I was
at
too
everybody.
slow for that team setup. Oh.
Perfect.
Ooh. Damn it, I can't remember.
We were talking about Toonami.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Got a little sidetracked there, but yeah.
Yeah, got a little sidetracked. Did you have any, like, really favorite shows on Toonami, other than, like, Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon?
I watched all of the Tenchi back in the day,
Oh, yeah.
but it was the original Tenchi, not the sequels.
Fucking Tenchi. God damn.
Sequels were so bad.
Finish what you started.
Station 1 is under attack.
Every time I hear people talk about, like, the sequels of Tenchi, because, like, I have one friend who comes over on occasion. He will, damn it, I'm down. He will swear up and down that the sequels to the Tenchi series are good.
There was nothing good about them. In fact, we're going to review those at some point and talk about how bad they are.
God damn it. That means we have to watch them again?
Yes.
Oh. See, not gonna lie, I'd much rather watch Green over the Tenchi sequels.
The second one wasn't so bad. It's the third one that's going to hurt. In the movies. The movies are really bad.
However, the one Tenchi franchise I didn't mind too terribly much. Oh, wow. Okay. But the one I didn't really mind too terribly much was Tenchi Muyo War on Geminar.
I haven't watched it because I've been hesitant to watch that one. Because there have been so many bad Tenchi.
Well, like, here's the thing. It's bad. Don't get me wrong on that one. It's bad. But it kept my interest for the main reason that it has to deal with mechs somewhat.
The
So,
franchise has been going towards mechs for a while for some reason.
but I don't know. It, like, out of all the like Tenchi spin-offs, it wasn't terrible. Like it had a different
All right,
take
team,
on
get ready to
the
defend
series.
those security nodes.
Like I said, the only one that was any good was the original. Even that, I have no problem. It had some issues in the beginning. Like, they weren't really sure how they wanted to do anything.
Right.
Ooh, that hurt.
Station 1 is under attack.
Let's see here.
Nice teamwork.
You know, I've watched so much anime over the years. I have trouble recalling a lot of them.
Well, I don't have a problem with that.
Perfect.
It's more of an issue if you've seen it or not.
Right.
So it's not like we all sat around and watched the same thing.
I mean, for the most part, like in a lot of anime you talk about, I either have like had a chance to watch most of it, and never gotten around to like finishing it for whatever reason or another, you know. But like just like a lot of the anime I've watched though over the years, essentially it's been like shit anime.
Well, there's a lot of bad anime out there.
There is. And
Station 1 is under attack.
I've blocked out a lot of it.
Blocked out a lot of it.
I've blocked out a lot of it. Cause like I'd have friends who'd be like,
You've watched like Here and Then, Now and There, haven't you? Maybe I just did that with
believe
like
so.
that kid that finds himself in an alternate world, and there's this dude that looks like a villain from like Mario. Like he looks like an evil Luigi, and you're kind of like, wow, this guy's, you know, a joke. Then you realize he's like super evil,
Oh,
and he like uses like women and children as like meat shields.
yeah.
And
I've
there's all the
seen it.
rape and everything, and it's like, what the hell? He just looks like a Sunday morning cartoon villain. What is going on?
Yeah, I've seen it.
That gets brutal after a while, because like like the first episode for that show was so bad. It is just boring. It's like watching paint dry, and you're like, ugh. And then suddenly it's like, all right, a second episode, GG, awesome. And then you're like sitting there, you're watching, you're like, wait a minute. Why did this get so dark? Before it was just garbage, and now it's so dark. Why is it dark?
Really, a big dude? Are you kidding me? you
Yep,
fucker?
I have 3 or 4 over here.
Oh my god, I didn't realize how many I actually had over here. Damn it, I'm down. Station 1's gonna go down.
I'm coming. That it is.
All costs.
Defeat. I knew that was coming.
Taking damage.
Oh, what was that one we tried watching? Like Night Raid 1941 or something like
Yeah.
that?
And then remember what I said? I'm like, it feels like these episodes are out of order.
And fucking Netflix dropped the damn ball and they were all out of order.
And I was right, because they just were out of order. I felt pretty good after that, because I was like, man, it just feels like these are all out of order. What's going on? And it's like, yeah, they are. And it's like, okay, good. I wasn't imagining things.
We had to fucking... Like, I got annoyed having to go to my phone and be like, okay, we gotta watch this episode, and then we'd have to scroll through, find it, go to another, then be like, alright, gotta watch this episode next. And like, to be honest, it probably could have been a fairly good anime if Netflix didn't drop the ball and had them out of order. So I think that's what actually killed our interest in it, was the fact that we had to, like, skip around.
I always kind of thought the issue that it had was that
All right.
it involves a lot of like well, at least some reasonable understanding of like the history, like Chinese history,
Yeah.
like Chinese and Japanese like history relations in like the early 20th century. So if you're like, oh, I was asleep in history class,
Right?
you're going to be kind of confused about what's going on, I think, to some extent. Especially in America, because we just don't cover those things in our schools.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't.
Station 1 is under attack.
Now, I'm not sure if you've checked it out yet or not, but I know it's on Netflix. It was a Netflix original. But you should check out Knights of Sidonia sometime.
I've watched that.
We're
I
just-
found it to be pretty good, actually. When I walked into it, I'm like, this is gonna be bad, isn't it? I really did. I expected it to be total shit.
So did I. And
I
like,
should never. I know you shouldn't judge an anime by its cover, but I just kind of looked at it, I'm like, this is gonna be some shitty giant mech anime.
Well, that was Travis's exact thought, and he's like, well, no, he thought it was like some kind of fucking softcore hentai kind of deal because of the
What?
Well, the picture art that Netflix has of it, or it's a new one that they have, it. Yeah, Travis is like, it looks like porn. Why does Netflix have porn on here? It's like, dude.
Yes, Netflix does hardcore porn. Netflix doesn't actually do hardcore porn. Please, Netflix, sign me up, and I will sit there and plug the shit out of your stuff. Give me money. But no, like, that's stupid that he really thinks it's like softcore porn.
And I'm like, no, dude. He's like, well, why is there like a big naked girl on the front? It's like, that.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
some explaining
explain-
must be done there.
Yeah, and in order to do that, I'd be basically giving
have to
away
start-
the
you have to
entire.
Yeah, you have to start spoilers. It's like, spoilers.
Yeah. It's just like, just watch it. It's a good show. It's really good. You want one or two?
I'll take two.
Oh, get
No, wait, I should take one since one's more damaged.
Alrighty, I'll take two then. Damn it! Once again, I don't have enough to get the fucking turret up.
I set up a turret that's kind of in between 1 and 2, so hopefully it will help both of us.
So are there only just two stations we gotta protect here?
No, there'll be more stations. They just add them slowly.
Ah, okay.
Station 2 is taking damage.
We're taking damage, Station 2. I mean,
But yeah,
Yeah.
Knights of Sidonia was actually really good.
yeah, I fucking loved it. Like, yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, well, looks like just another mech anime.
I'm always hesitant when I see gigantic mech anime because I'm just afraid they're gonna be total trash because a lot of them are.
Yeah. I mean, Mobile Suit Gundam Fighter G or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, that's like most animes I don't have an issue with until they start doing like some form of damn it, I'm down. So still they start doing some form of like powering up or transforming. You know? And that's where I have my problem.
They've taken out a turret near Station 2.
But yeah, Knights of Sidonia. I suppose we could actually spend some sec. Ah, darn it, I'm down.
I'm down too.
Oh, then we're wiped.
But continue what you were saying.
Knights of Sidonia was interesting for the characters. Like, I didn't care about like the monsters that are attacking the ship as they're traveling through space. I'm just like, yeah, I got it, gigantic, like tentacle monsters.
Yeah.
Whatever, I don't care. The characters were interesting though. Especially the one girl that's not actually a girl, but she's not actually a guy. She's not anything. She's asexual. It's asexual, and they keep bringing this up because like it's genetic engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh yeah, I don't actually have a sex, and he's just like, but you're a girl, and it's like, I'm not a boy or a girl. Genetic engineering, and I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this, I guess. Like normally I'd be like, what the hell, but it made perfect sense, and how they went about doing it. And she's like, yeah, and it's like, yeah, eventually I'll have to choose a sex.
Oh yeah, the
when
fucking...
when I find a partner, and I'm just because at first I'm like, I remember looking at it, and I'm just like, boy or girl, boy or girl. I think it's a girl. And it's just like, I'm not a boy or a girl. And I'm like, what the okay. And then it's just like, yeah, I don't actually have a sex until I've decided on a partner. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that whole thing.
I thought that character was one of the more interesting characters, just because they had kind of like, I understood that like there had been some genetic engineering to the human race, because like everyone can use photosynthesis to get what they need, get the energy they need to live.
Yeah.
So people, like normal people, only need to like eat like once a week. I thought that was like really clever and sci-fi. And then it's just like, yeah, my grandmother genetically engineered me, so I was not a boy or girl. I can choose when I find a partner that I'm interested in. I'm like, okay, I guess like that's different and interesting. And it's actually a really likable character too. That was like my favorite character. I'm like, congratulations, guys. It still looks like a woman to me though. Like that's what I was. I was like, this is just a very tomboyish looking girl, and it's like, I'm not a boy or a girl. And you'll see people like in the show like be confused and be like, here you go, young lady, and it's just like, I'm not a young lady.
Oh my god, I'm having troubles here.
Don't worry, you got Thor on your team. Because that's what Nora is. She's Thor.
Oh, another one you should check out if you haven't is Ajin, a Demi-Human.
I've watched that as well.
Have you?
Station 1 is under attack.
We happen to have watched the same things on Netflix, apparently.
Apparently.
Well, they don't have that huge of a selection of anime, I guess, yet.
No, but what they do have is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I have actually been really impressed with Netflix and what they've been able to get a hold of for anime.
Damn it, I'm down. I mean, like, I
Ugh.
actually really enjoyed Ajin.
I'm down too. I
Wow,
could
they
not res you.
normally
Like,
they'll start going
yeah,
after the
normally
fucking.
they leave me alone when I'm trying to res, but that time they just kept on punching me in the face.
But I actually really enjoyed Ajin. Like that was like the one anime I binged watched when I was off work for like 2 weeks. I binged watched a lot of
They did have
anime.
that whole they did have that whole interesting concept was like, okay, you're immortal, but it's always the largest piece of you that becomes, like, if you get cut in half, it's the bigger piece that becomes the new body. So what happens if you get your head cut off? I thought that was a really interesting thing they had going on with that show.
Well,
Like, and I was just like, yeah, what does? Because your body's gonna grow a new head, but your head is still there. But now, like, are you gonna have all your memories? Is it really you anymore? It's one of those. It was a bit of a conundrum.
I
Then
mean,
I love the bad guy in the show because he's just like, yeah, I'm immortal, and he just kind of looks at everything as a game, and he's like, I have infinite lives. I'm a cheat code, and I'm just like, he really is a cheat code though. And then how he'll intentionally like shoot himself to kill himself, because when people die, they heal fully. Like if you broke your leg, and you're just like, oh, I broke my leg. Well, I'm gonna kill myself now.
yeah.
So I'm back up to like full health. I always thought that was interesting because you see them use that over and over again. Like, oh man, seriously injured, better kill myself now. And then they just stand right back up, and now their leg's no longer broken. It's just like, that is actually a really, I love that part of it. I thought that was super clever. Because then it becomes like a thing where you see the cops and stuff trying to like not kill them, they're just trying to like maim them, and then stopping them from actually killing themselves.
I mean, like, when I first started watching that anime, I was a little like, this, this might not keep my interest long. I was wrong. When I finished the first season, I was just like, oh, because at that time I had to wait for the second season to come out.
Yeah.
And the second season happened to come out when I was off work for 2 weeks. So I rewatched season 1, and then I just like binge watched season 2, and I'm just like, oh my god. Because like essentially, like season, they like in the first season, he like ends up teaming up with the one dude, and it leaves off there, and it's just like, I want to know what happens.
Yep.
He said he had a plan. What's this big plan?
The one anime you should watch is Violet Evergarden.
I've heard of that.
It has all of the feels, all of them. It is feels central. It starts out a little slow. You're kind of like, at first you're like, It takes a few episodes for it to really, I would say, truly, for you to really start to like the characters and really become invested in like them and whatnot. But it's so good, so good.
Well, isn't that kind of like how all anime is? You gotta at least give it like 3 episodes to get really.
That's why the 3-episode rule exists, is because of anime like Violet Evergarden. Because I could understand if you just watch the first episode, you might be kind of like, Because Violet is not very likable in the first episode. I've heard some people say like, well, I watched the first episode and I didn't really like Violet. And I'm like, yeah, she takes a little time for her to, I guess you could say, come out of her shell. Because she doesn't feel like a very likable character in the beginning. But there are reasons, because she's like suffering from like PTSD. So she's kind of emotionless, and people are like, oh, but she's so emotionless. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you've been to war. You've had to shoot some nuns. when life's gonna suck when you get back from the war. Like, that's what that feels like. She saw, like, shit happened. She's fucked up in the head. Some people are like, oh, she's just so emotionless. Like, you'd be fucked up too in the head after some of the shit she has saw.
Right?
So,
I mean,
Station 2 is taking damage.
one anime I'd actually kind of like to rewatch again, and I think I might start up watching it probably tomorrow or something. Since I can't go see a movie I want to see, I might start rewatching Popotan.
Papa-tan.
Popotan!
I haven't watched Papa-tan in quite a few years.
I mean, like, people could, like, a lot of my friends, other friends that have watched anime, when I talk about Popotan, they're like, really? You watched that? I'm like, yeah, I've also watched I My Me Strawberry Eggs.
I love Demi-Human Strawberry Eggs.
Right? But, like, a lot of my friends, they're not, like, into, like, the, you know, laid-back kind of rom-com almost deal. They're more into, like, oh, action, fighting.
The shonen anime got it.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, then I can understand why they're not big fans of it. But just because you prefer a particular type of anime doesn't mean other anime are bad.
Right. I mean, like the few anime I've actually convinced them to like just sit down and at least watch the first 3 episodes. They're like, okay, I see why you like this. I'm like, yeah, it's a good anime.
Town was always kind of one of those weird ones since it was based off of an adult game.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of got that feeling, especially with
My. Yeah, like
I had to remember which one was the oldest sister.
There was I, My, and Me. Or was it I? Anyway, yeah, the 3 sisters, and the oldest sister definitely got the sex appeal going on there.
Yeah. My is my second favorite waifu. For obvious reasons.
You ever, what about Read or Die? You ever watched Read or Die?
Yes, I've watched. Dude, I watched Read or Die back when it was only like really airing on fucking HBO.
We have a 3rd station, by the way.
We gotta guard 3 stations now.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Don't worry.
And
I'll
third-
keep 1 and 2 under control if you want to handle 3.
Okay, because I was gonna say that'd be a long fucking haul for me.
No, it's simpler to have one person cover 1 and 2.
Station 3 is being overrun. Station 1 is under attack.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
2 is taking damage.
Well, I fucked up with my fucking ultimate right there. Oh Jesus, they are raping my face. These robots are fucking me, dude.
They've taken out a turret near Station 2.
This is not Rape, the video game. This is made by Rooster Teeth. They're obviously classy.
Quit doing your little exploding in front of you bullshit, you dick sauce, man. God damn. Fucking... The hell is that? I heard like a weird beat. Oh, that's what that would be. More fuckers spawning.
There is more
Taking damage.
spawning.
Station 1 is under attack. Station 1 is critically damaged. Defend it at all costs.
But yeah, we were talking about Read or Die.
Yeah, I watched that back on when it was airing on HBO. And
Did it air? I did not know it aired on HBO.
Yeah, that was the only way I was able to watch it because it was, you know, one of those anime that were like more gritty and kind of gory.
Station 3
So-
is being overrun.
No, it's not. It's fine. So like it was only airing on like I think HBO and Showtime, TV wise anyway.
Yeah.
And oh, I got into that so much.
No, did you watch the OVA or just the anime?
I
Like
want
the-
to say it was just the anime. I don't think it was the OVA. I don't think so anyway.
Because the OVA was only like 3 episodes, so
Station 1 is critically damaged. Defend it at all costs.
Yeah, I got a turret now.
Station 3 is being overrun.
No, it's not. What the hell are you talking about? There's only one enemy down here. Fucking retard. But yeah, I want to say I watched the original anime. I think I can't honestly remember.
like I said, the original OVA was only like 3 episodes.
Taking out a turret near Station 2. Station 2 is taking damage.
And then the anime took place like 5 years after the OVA
Hmm.
because Yamako is missing.
Station 1 is critically damaged. Defend it at all costs.
I don't know how Station 1 keeps taking damage when there's no enemies near it. They keep all spawning near Station 2. So weird.
Yeah, I've only gotten like a few enemies down here.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot more up here.
Oh god, Station 4.
I just set up as many turrets as you can, honestly, is the best way to deal with this situation.
I have 2 turrets set up at Station 3.
Yeah, if you have 2 set up at 3, that's probably safe.
And
You can always add another turret later, or
Yeah.
even put one up before. But yeah, Read or Die is one of those shows I suggest to pretty much anybody. It's really well done.
That's another one I'm gonna have to sit down and rewatch again.
Taking damage. Station 1 is critically damaged. Defend it at all costs. Station 4 needs your help. Station 3 is being overrun.
I see this.
Station 3 is critically damaged. Protect
Oh,
it.
Station 3 is critically damaged.
Yeah, I noticed. Because my turrets were only getting the things around it and not like right next to it. Back to Station 4, back to Station 4.
Station
Hop!
2 is taking damage. Station 4 needs your help.
Station 2 can take all the damage.
Is critically damaged. Guard that station, students. We've lost a turret near Station 1.
Oh, achievement unlocked. Automated. I almost fucked that shit up. I almost said automaton. Is it
Yeah.
Station
automaton? What the hell?
critically damaged.
Damn
Or
it!
it's too late. It's all over.
It's
all
all
over.
over now.
It's all over, guys. The balls turn hurt.
But wait, they're still there.
We're so bad at this.
We are. We are horrible.
I don't think Ruby actually works particularly well for podcasting and talking about anime and playing at the same time.
Yeah, because I noticed
Because
we keep getting distracted.
It requires us to talk to each other about what's going on in game rather than actually talking about like reviews.
Yeah.
It's fine. This is only our first attempt, but
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be a normal thing. Ruby just requires too much effort on our part to.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I might, just like install like Civ 5 or something.
Like I said
tonight.
before, Civ 5 was something I considered just because it's not going to require us to have a lot of strategy going on
Right.
together.
And especially if we like do it on like a lower difficulty, could just be like, well, we just
I
sit
like to
there
at
and
least I would like to at least put it on normal.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
so 5 is not hard.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, let's just go for what fucking
God mode is the hardest difficulty in that game.
God mode sounds fun.
Because it's like Prince, then, well, like it's Settler, Count, Duke, or something like that. Then it's Prince, King, Emperor, God. I don't know, something like that. It's been too long, but when you play on God, it's ridiculously hard.
Oh, I know. Now, if there's a game I could find that I'd feel be worth like hosting to the channel, I would totally like do like a let's play or something on the side. Got a setup for you.
This is just more of a podcast thing. We can be casual about it, but
Yeah. See,
I gained it up.
at least, you know, it'd be like something for, you know, additional content.
Yeah. But yep. Read or die. Read or die.
Well, I guess I'll die. Probably weren't expecting that option.
No, I wasn't. In the manga, it's actually called Read or Dream, is what it's called. But when they went to do the anime, they named it that, and I was always, they called it Read or Die, and I'm like, Read or Die sounds catchier to me, so.
Kind of does instead of Read or Dream. Who would honestly like sit down and be like, oh, let's watch Read or Dream?
What? I've always just kind of thought the Read or Die thing just sounds catchier to me. Ooh, that worked well.
Eat my crackers. I am Weiss.
Perfect setup.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to go back through and watch the Read or Die series again. Yeah, like for you, how you said you'd always recommend. Damn it, I'm down. How you always recommend people Read or Die. I tend, if people want to get into anime, I'll tell them to like check out the 8th MS unit. Wow, we got like ganked. Holy shit!
I was trying to keep you up, but it wasn't happening.
I should probably check my phone quick. My phone's like been going off for like the last 20 minutes. Not sure if you've heard it at all, but I just keep seeing my phone just light up.
No, I haven't heard anything.
I must have it further out of the way than normal. But yeah, like I'd be sitting here and all of a sudden my phone would just light up, like, what? Oh, nothing important.
We should probably talk about some of the normie anime.
The normie animes? So like, what would be normie anime?
Attack on Titan would be normie anime.
Okay, I've only watched season 1.
Really?
Yeah, I've only watched season 1. I haven't gotten around to watching season 2. I think I started it, but nope, that's not what I want. Go there.
Attack on Titan is normie anime because everyone knows what it is. Like if it appears in Walmart and they will sell it, it's normie anime.
Okay.
That's kind of where I sit with normie anime, because like Dragon Ball Z is at Walmart, and I'm like, yeah, Dragon Ball Z is normie anime. Everyone knows what that is. So Walmart's kind of like a bar for me. If like Walmart sells it, it's probably normie anime.
So since Sailor Moon's not at Walmart, does that mean it's not a normie anime?
Are you sure it's not at Walmart? Anywhere?
I haven't seen it at Walmart.
I don't know. I just find it surprising. Them sweet, sweet normie anime.
All right, team, get
So
ready.
which
But I'm
for
s-
those security
which would
nodes.
you like to talk about then?
Sailor Moon or Attack on Titan? What? What? Is
Uh,
that what we're doing here?
I don't know.
Are we
I
having
mean,
are we having like an epic rap battles of history, but it's Sailor Moon versus Attack on Titan?
well, we clearly are.
Anime battles of history.
Well, we already know which one's the better one. Fucking Sailor Moon. Ooh. No comment?
I think Attack on Titan is better.
Well, I mean, if you're into like giants eating people, I guess, or people becoming giants. I mean, I'll admit that that is a pretty cool thing instead of Moon.
Mikasa is waifu material.
Really?
Yeah. Hey man, if I'm gonna be trapped in a gigantic world filled with monsters that want to eat me, you want her to want your dick.
This is true. I
I'm
mean,
just
she
saying,
is
man.
like a fucking badass.
You want that to be like, yes, I want to have your babies. That's what you want. You want to hear her say that to you.
But at the same time, she also got those crazy eyes, and I don't quite care for that.
She's not the only one with crazy eyes.
Well, I know.
Like half the female characters have crazy eyes.
This is true because they do a horrible representation of Germans.
And she's Asian. One would expect her to have those really slanted eyes. And that's not racist because Asians drew this. They intentionally drew her with slanted eyes. Oh, why did we spawn so many Beowulfs on this wave every time?
I don't know.
Jesus.
And booshkies.
Oh my god.
Will we finally get through? Where are you at? Oh, you're over here. It wasn't showing me your, like, arrow for a while there. So I'm like, where's he at?
I gained a level.
You gained 11?
I gained a bell.
That is so awesome. Yeah, definitely. I don't think Ruby's a good one.
This requires just too much effort on our parts. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I want to talk about anime, but now I'm being forced to like sit here and be like, oh shit, I
Yeah,
need to talk. I need to discuss strategy.
Yeah, so I'm just like, shit's hitting the fan. I gotta focus, and I'm not talking anymore.
Yeah.
This ain't making for good podcast material.
Yeah, people love like 40 seconds of dead silence.
Right? Well, at least I get to hear my clicking.
God damn it, your goddamn keyboard and mouse.
Actually, it's my controller.
Okay, well, I guess I don't hear it anymore now that you mention it, since you went to your controller. But like when you started it up, like I don't know, maybe if you might have switched over before.
Yeah, I switched over before, but
Before,
at that time I
but
was actually
Holy
sitting.
crap! Like if we're ever in that situation where we're doing
Oh,
like
shit, I should
anything,
probably get to
and
it.
we're recording, and I have to hear your mouse and your keyboard going. Holy crap! People ever are gonna be like, "What is that noise?"
Station 1 is critically damaged. Defend it at all costs.
Did you just get like a massive lag spike?
No,
I did.
you're hosting. How are you lagging?
I don't know. Well, if Ryan's
It's the game.
home-
Honestly, it's the game itself. I've noticed once or twice. Like if I get like the wrong camera angle, it'll do really weird things.
Shit, I'm down. Well, if Ryan by any chance is streaming or something, I'm going to hit major lag.
It's only a scratch.
I remember that actually, like, yeah, this will be a little off topic, but that actually happened to me one time when I was playing WoW with my brother. We went to do a raid, and I told Ryan, do not stream at least for like 15, 20 minutes. He's like, okay. And boss fight,
Station 1 is
I lag and I
critically
die, and everybody's like, what the fuck? I was like, well...
Oh, why did these guys have to spawn of
Right,
all the things?
Like, I haven't seen them at all. I'm down because I literally got like pinballed.
Station 2 is
I'm down as well.
damaged. Guard that station, students.
That was just bad.
Best podcast ever.
Right?
Although technically, since we're doing, I guess podcasters do video as well sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's always weird. I'll see the podcasters doing video, but then they'll be playing a video game, and so like they'll have like them on one side, and then they'll have the video game on the other. But I've always kind of been like, but if you're playing a video game, just show the whole screen as the video game rather than you videoing yourself.
Yeah, because then it's basically just a let's play or a playthrough. I mean, yeah, you could consider this kind of a playthrough type of deal, but we're not doing
This
the
isn't a
campaign.
playthrough because we're not doing the even if we were doing the campaign, like people wouldn't be using us to. It's not like it's difficult to do the campaign on this game.
Right?
People wouldn't be going online and be like, "Oh man, I better watch a podcast to see how to do this game."
I mean, shit, like this game was so fucking easy to beat. I mean, we beat it in what, 4 hours?
Yeah, about 4 from start to finish. I want a sequel.
You want a sequel, huh?
I do want a sequel.
Do you think we'll actually be able to beat this one? Because so far it seems like we can't. Like the furthest we got was like what, wave 6,
Yeah, it was.
and we haven't gotten there
we're-
since.
A lot of it is we're not using max level characters.
That is true.
All right, team, get ready to defend those security nodes.
I don't wanna. I want to sit back and watch them go boom.
You almost want to be max level to do this. It's really hard if you don't.
So. Oh wow, we're almost going on 2 hours.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Damn, I didn't realize it's been that long.
Whole time flies when you're trying not to die.
Yeah, and then you're trying to talk about shit and failing horribly.
Station 1 is under attack.
I don't think it's the worst stream ever made.
Right. I mean, there have been worse.
But yeah, we definitely learned that. I was kind of afraid of that about this game, though, is that
Yeah,
it'd require us to spend too much time
focusing.
focusing on the game.
Yep. So, I mean, at least we managed to do some of what we wanted.
Station 1 is under attack.
Well, I mean, we've managed to talk about anime, if nothing else.
Yeah. A few of our animes
don't know
that
how-
we've liked and anticipate on watching.
I had to explain how a ninja traveled through time when he was a baby to the present.
Oh, that not gonna lie, that kind of made my head hurt.
Anytime time travel comes into play, it should make your head hurt.
Station 1 is under attack.
Yeah, I don't think you hear the clicking or like the controller much anymore because I'm actually sitting a little bit further away from the mic. I'm not sure if that's noticeable.
I don't know, it might show up better in the audio. Oh, really?
Is down.
I'm down.
Revive them at once.
Thank you.
Station 1 is under attack.
So many team attacks. Jeepers cats.
Use dim team of that.
I believe Station 2 is going to be coming online here. Yep.
Yep, there it is. Let me set up a turret.
Gonna set up a turret as well. I'm gonna save the rest of my money for when I go down to level 3 and get a turret up on 3. I'm just doing happy little spins around the conduit thingy, construct.
Station 2 is taking damage.
Well, fuck you.
1 is under attack.
Ugh.
My turret's getting more kills than I am. Hey Terry, you wanna know what'd be really fun to watch sometime? Just sit down and enjoy.
What?
Fruits Basket.
Oh, I always liked Fruits Basket. I never understood why they didn't make a second season.
I know, right? It just kind of ends, and it's like.
Yeah,
but-
it does
but
just
I
kind of
want
end
more.
when you know they weren't finished.
No, they probably just couldn't get the funding or something.
That one's been out for many years.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I believe somewhere on the internet somebody actually did a fan-made second season,
Station 1
I think I've heard of this.
and it's actually like really good quality.
is taking damage.
Ah, crap! I'm down.
All right, I'm coming.
They're attacking my turrets though, so it's fine. Oh well, they were attacking my turret.
They're all attacking my turret though.
Station 1 is down.
Oh.
That's why when you ran away, my first thought was, why the fuck are you running away? My turret has like my station has like one sliver of life left. Why are you running back the other direction?
I didn't realize that. My bad. My bad.
Can't wait to hear your arguments when we're playing Civ 5 and I'm being attacked by like 20 different units from the Greeks, and you're like, oh man, I didn't see all those Greek phalanxes coming at you, bro.
Don't worry, man.
Okay.
I got you back. I got you back. I'm gonna be a fucking Germans, man.
You're gonna be the Germans when we play Civ 5.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna bring about the Fourth Reich?
Shh. No one needs to know my plans.
Technically, since you're playing as Bismarck, you're actually bringing about the Second Reich. Because Bismarck brought about the Second Reich.
This is true. This is true. But in my head, it'll be the fourth.
Everyone knows who brought around the third one.
He who
Unless you've
shall
been
not be
living under a rock.
named.
Unless you've been living under a rock, then you don't know.
I just made a fucking Harry Potter joke.
You did make a Harry Potter joke. It was okay, I guess.
But it is kind of true. No, like for the longest time after that, nobody really mentioned his name. Or
Well, I mean,
said
if you're
his name.
if you're in German, you didn't talk about it. I still don't think the Germans talk about it. It's one of those things like, let's just ignore this for the moment.
Right. Let's just ignore this for like the next.
Let's
40
try a different-
years.
Let's just try a different horde mode.
Yeah, that's what I did. I went
Okay, good.
to Forever Fall.
Sounds good. If I remember correctly, I found this one to be the easiest one to do.
Oh yeah, I leveled up. Damn it! That's right. I gotta wait. I don't really need heavy synergy because I'm not a heavy based. Hiccups.
You're not heavy based
All right,
hiccups.
team, get ready to
Nope.
defend those security nodes.
Jeez, Cherry, what's with that smoker's cough?
It doesn't sound like a smoker's cough to me.
Damn it, you're supposed to play along.
Should I have a cigar when we start doing live videos? And just make this joke that I'm like this huge cigar smoking guy. And then I just twirl my mustache. That would actually be kind of funny now that I think about it. I should do that. I'll
You
be Marge,
totally
just
should.
standing there just twirling my mustache. You know, I was talking to Trav, and he did not know that mustache wax existed.
It does. It is a thing.
He did not know about. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He had no idea it existed. He like ran into it on the internet, and he's like, "Did you know that mustache wax exists?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have a mustache. Of course I know it exists." He's like, "I had no idea," and I'm like, "How do you not know mustache wax? Oh Jesus, little tongue twister. How do you not know mustache wax exists? Like how?" I looked at him. I'm
like, not only is there mustache wax, but there's also beard balm.
Yep. There's all that stuff to make you look, to make your beard and your mustache look super sexy.
I mean, like I used to have a lot of that shit actually back when I actually had a beard, but you know, with my job, I can't really have a full-on beard, or at least I'm not supposed to. Hell, I'm not even supposed to have a goatee, but you know, I'm kind of just telling them fuck you. But yeah, I mean,
But yeah, he had no idea it existed. Apparently, you gonna go to 2 or do you?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
to 2. I just had to find where it was at. Oh yeah, this one definitely looks easier. There's only 8 waves compared to the 10.
But yeah. So I'm gonna do that, man. I'm gonna be the mustache twirler. Why not? I have a lovely mustache.
And
Get out that
I'll be the dude that just be like, you shouldn't be smoking, man.
Nah, that doesn't work.
No, it don't.
Station 2 is taking
It's not funny. You're not funny. Be funnier.
Sheboygan. Damn it. I failed.
So bad at this.
Yeah, I know. That's what I get told all the time. I've come to accept it as reality.
But now I could just totally get the mustache looking good with that wax. That sweet beeswax. Because that's the best mustache wax is beeswax.
That is what I heard.
Although that means I'll be collecting the last. Although I won't be able to do it much longer since the bees are being wiped off the face of the earth. So I mean, enjoy that awesome mustache while I can, I guess.
No match.
Oh, that was a close one. I froze one of the big dudes in mid-swing, and if he would have actually hit me, I would have went down. Ooh, I can get a turret. Getting a turret.
That's because Weiss is a frost mage.
And when she jumps in the air, she's like one of those, like, you know, flying toys that got banned because kids kept getting, like, stabbed in the eye.
Oh, I remember those.
wings.
Those were hilarious.
Right? Especially that one video, the little girl gets it, pulls it, and it just flies right into the fire.
Yes, I've seen that.
And just
That was-
the sheer dismay
that was too
on
good.
her face. Oh god, why are people raping me?
I've already
Quit it.
told you there is no rape in this game. He's misrepresenting that.
Alright, why are people beating my ass?
It still sounds kind of rapey.
Only if I say no.
That's true. If you consent, it's fine.
We've lost a turret near Station 1.
And let's
Aw.
be honest, we both know
One is
Weiss
under
would
attack.
not deny a thing. Same with Pyrrha. You know, there's so many jokes I want to make, but I can't because it would ruin it for people that haven't seen Ruby.
I'm down.
Teammate is injured.
I am coming. Oh shit, there's a Station 3 now.
Yeah, I know. I had to defend Station 3 and then run back to 1, and they took me out when I got here.
Critically damaged. Defend it at all costs.
Oh shit. Come on, come on, come on, come on, get it.
Can't fail.
By the way, you should stay at Station 1.
Yeah, I just realized that. I looked this time.
Put up a turret here.
Station 2 is taking damage.
You'll be fine from...
3 is being overrun.
Shit, I'm down.
Much appreciated.
I'm gonna run to Station 3 real quick.
They've taken out a turret near Station 2.
Damn it.
I took out my turret in Station 3 already. And yours is down in 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is bad.
Station 2 is taking damage.
I'm gonna run to...
Is being overrun.
The problem is they're taking out our turrets.
It is.
Nice teamwork.
Damn it, I'm just shy of lean. Is it lean or line?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if they've even ever actually said the name of the currency in the anime.
Station 2 is taking damage.
I'm trying, because they always just talk about dust.
Right?
Like, I'm trying to remember if they've ever actually announced the actual name of the currency.
Cause
So I'm not sure how it's.
I'm
I'm not sure
gonna-
how it's pronounced.
I'm gonna go with line. Damn it.
Station 1 needed 1 hit to take it out. Like,
3 is being
I'm just like trying to. I just like run over. I'm like, I gotta protect 1, and like one dude runs up to it. And he's like, boop. And I'm like, come on.
I'm gonna go with line because if it's lean, some people might get.
It could be
confused.
Len.
It could be Lin.
Could be Len. I'm leaning towards Len. I have no idea. I'm sure someone on the internet could explain.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of horde mode.
Same here. Well, what we can do is I want to get a certain particular achievement.
What achievement is that?
I'm gonna be Ruby, you be Yang.
Okay. What? Why?
Beat the game with Ruby and Yang.
Is that's an achievement?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do this.
I'm hoping it'll work if we just go to the final chapter. I'm hoping we don't have to.
It
play
should
through the
be. It should
entire
be
thing.
fine. We shouldn't have to go through the entire. The refund.
Where do we need to go? I think we need to go this way.
Good news, team. The coordinates of Merlot's secret lab were contained within the data retrieved from the terminal. An airship has been deployed and will rendezvous with you shortly.
Hi, Ozpin.
Can I fly the airship when we're done? I think I've earned it.
Fucking Yang.
Yeah, that was. I like that because every one of the characters has something different they'll say at
Yep.
this point. No, I just thought that was funny. Yang is best girl.
Okay. I got stuck in the fucking wall for a second there.
That's fine.
No. No.
I've always wondered why they never added Penny.
Chalk one up for the good guys.
That
Because
is,
I mean, Penny was popular. Why doesn't Penny get to show up? She wouldn't be her own team, but
I honestly couldn't tell you.
You should be entering a power facility. Destroy everything you see that may
you should destroy all these things for the experience.
not authorized to be in here.
That's what I'm going to do. I love Ruby's voice though. an amazing voice. Get out of my way, I'm destroying shit.
Ouch. I got punched in the face.
Go pick up my sister. Ow, leave me alone, I'm destroying stuff. Sick, go away. I think I destroyed everything. But who knows, maybe one of these days I might sit down and actually try to like fully finish the Ruby series.
What? I'm down again.
Cause like literally watching the recent seasons, I would fall asleep.
I can't really blame you. I mean, there were some good scenes in there, like the beginning of season 4, with like Blake and Sun. Oh
shit!
We just both went down there.
Yeah, we both just went down at the exact
those guys
same
hit
time.
way too freaking hard.
Holy crap!
That was like instant.
Yeah.
I even got points to they allow me to take more damage when my aura is depleted.
That is so annoying. Somehow my mouse started popping up on my screen.
Good news, team.
But what were you saying about
Contained within the data retrieved from the terminal. An airship
the fourth
has been deployed
season?
and will rendezvous with you shortly.
The beginning of the 4th season was okay because we get to see Blake and Sun have that fight with that dragon. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was entertaining. I did enjoy that, but I don't know.
Like I said, the main problem with the season 4 and season 5 is there's not nearly enough action, especially with like Team Ranger. It's like, come on, you guys are out here traveling in the woods. You're surrounded by Grimm, and they only really fight like that first Grimm, and then they just kind of wander around for the rest of the season, like camping. And they're just like, oh, there's more Grimm, man. And they show up like at that abandoned village, and I'm like, all right, there's gonna be a big fight at this abandoned village where they found this dying huntsman. Nothing happens, and it's like, are you freaking serious? They have so many opportunities to just throw Team Ranger into the meat grinder and have them some fights to relieve all the talking everyone else is doing, and they're just like, nah. Better have them just walk down the road and talk as well. And it's like, come on, this is where all the action's supposed to be.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just, like, I had a lot of trouble just staying awake for a lot of the episodes. I really did. Oh, son of a bitch!
I hate these guys so much.
That is so annoying.
But yeah, I could just spend so much time explaining the issues with Ruby's last 2 seasons.
Why was that time a lot easier than the first
I don't know.
time?
Well, we had different enemies to fight.
Safety dance! That was easy.
According to my map of the lab, this room contains more processing equipment for his serum. You need to take it out. All of it.
They need to make, No, quit attacking the enemies and attack the vats. I am down. I forgot those things explode. Ouch. Jesus Christ. I'm down again.
I know.
Woo. Gotta run and hide for a minute. like these dudes have a hard on for me or something.
Yeah, they've been ignoring me.
I noticed. Like, oh hey, we're gonna attack the guy that's attacking our vats. I don't like that camera angle. Now they're going after you. Ooh, relic. Artifact. What ultimatum challenge unlocked? What's that about?
Must be one of your things you need to do.
Oh,
Ouch.
okay, that makes sense. Ouch, you mother trucker.
My serum! Oh, no matter.
Ugh.
Oh, I got an improved
rough.
ultimate, too. The ultimate pools increases by 1.
So far,
Ooh!
it's looking very
I got 3 now.
Fantastic work. I must admit, you really have
Unlimited
the team
power.
is cheering.
That's actually kind of awesome.
Better have some cookies waiting for me. I deserve them.
I have been spamming, like, my ultimate like a motherfucker, though.
Ready to
would-
fight a gigantic scorpion?
No, but I don't think we have a choice.
Welcome to the testing ground, students.
Shut up,
Why don't
Merlot.
you go ahead and get acquainted with my test subjects. They could use the exercise.
You're a crazy fuck, dude.
Never appears in the anime, though.
Set you up.
Oh, you did.
Damn it. But they definitely, for this game, though, they should totally, like, add more levels.
People have been complaining about that since the game came out, honestly.
You can be on my team anytime.
I mean, don't get me wrong, this is, like, at least the campaign, anyway, is fun to just sit down and just... We honestly should have just done the campaign from the get-go.
Yeah, we probably should have. It requires less thought on our parts. To...
Yeah, it's just smash buttons. I mean, this would have been a hell of a lot easier. I'm just like, oh, let's try Horde. Horde shouldn't be that difficult. I was wrong.
We all make mistakes.
But, I don't know. I'm really hoping we could just get the achievement for beating Chapter 10.
Let's make this more
Oh, you mean we aren't going to get the achievement for speed running? Actually, I don't know if there's an achievement for speed running.
It'd be kind of hard to do a speed run given the fact that like every level you have to suffer through like 4 or 5 waves of shit. So I honestly don't know how this game could be speed runned.
Someone would figure a way.
Damn it, I'm down.
I'm coming.
Then again, I guess it'd be physically possible to speed run if you had like 4 people. Then those waves would just go by like nothing. Ouch, you shot me in the face. Oh, damn. My gun's now like a shotgun.
A little more effort, maybe?
Really?
I thought
Yeah.
this was my most potent batch of silk.
this game.
I
Can
do
go die in a
too,
fire.
Yep. Thank God for speed recovery, though.
I saw that you took that.
Well, I figure it's always at least a smart move to take.
It's too many points.
It's just 1 point.
It's 2 points.
It's 1 point. That was like the first thing I got when I leveled up. Damn it, I'm down.
I'm down as well.
So are you. Hey, we both had 36 kills. So does that mean we're going to have to do that over completely?
No, we'll start back in that room.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Yep.
Welcome to the testing
medic costs
grounds,
1.
students. Why don't you go ahead and get acquainted with my test subjects? They could use the exercise.
I forget, does Merlot ever actually make an appearance in the actual series?
No,
So if I'm not mistaken, I
I've
believe
never
he's
seen him. He might actually exist. Like, they might have added him like to the lore somewhere in the background after they made the game, but he never appears in the actual anime. So
That's a shame. And wow, you just like destroyed that cluster.
it's my power. Chitty chitty yang yang.
Oh yeah, that's right. Chitty chitty yang yang. I forgot about that.
Fills up my ultimate pool, man.
You set up.
Sweet.
Hello.
I set one up.
You know that there should be an extra team attack thing if it's Yang and Ruby.
Because they're sisters.
Yes.
So much better when we work together.
Have you watched what is Castlevania on Netflix?
Yes, yes, I have. Like I watched that last year when we were at Rosemont.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like sitting there, I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna binge watch this and be like," and then like talk about it with people.
Uh-huh.
Fucking 4 episodes later, done. What? Motherfucker! 4
Yup.
episodes, that's it?
Yeah, they cocked us so hard there. Because they do, like, they set it up so well, and then it just, like, ends. And it's like, aww.
Supposedly, the second season's supposed to be coming.
And it's gonna be another 4 episodes.
Oh, dude, I would be so fucking pissed.
They
If
do an
there's-
amazing...
If there's just another 4 episodes, I will honestly, like, find people and murder them. Because I loved it.
That's what everyone says that I've talked to. Everyone's been like, "Oh, it's so amazing," and then it ended after 4 episodes, and I'm like, "Yeah, I feel your pain."
I mean, I'm waiting. But I have a feeling, just like the second season of High School of the Dead, it's never gonna come.
That was always something that disappointed me. I wanted that second season.
Supposedly there's a second season and it's subbed. Or half of a second season.
I know there's like the OVA for it, but where they like
Damn
it's
it, I'm
like
down.
Summer of the Dead or beat something like that. I can't remember. But they go to like the beach or whatever. It's just like it's fan service, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They just knock me away every goddamn time.
Mother trucker. I mean, it's just like I was always hearing that there's something in the works for it, but I never see it. I'll never see it, and I'm sad about that.
Welcome to the testing ground, students. Why don't you go ahead and get acquainted with my test subjects? They could use the exercise.
Are you refunding points?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, there was 1 or 2 things I had to put in.
Let me guess, you got medic?
Yeah, since you keep dying.
It's not my fault completely. I do moderately decent. I just tend to get raped by... Okay, get my ass whooped by fucking Grim.
That's not a knife, this is a knife.
I challenge you to a duel! You know, that kind of sounds, you know, suggestive, Ruby. Saying we could be on your team anytime. And I'm sorry. I have trouble getting my head out of that gutter area, especially after work.
That didn't go according to plan.
Let's be honest, the entire Ruby franchise is about them shippings. For some reason, I've never quite understood why, but that's like half the fan base. Like, that's all they talk about is who should end up with who.
You know, this might sound wrong, like very wrong on multiple levels, but it would be kind of neat to see Ruby and Yang together.
God damn it, you're one of them. You are one of them.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just find it to be a little interesting. You know, they're sisters. Technically, aren't they just half sisters?
They're half sisters. It doesn't make it any less wrong.
Oh no, if they're half sisters, it's all right.
I have all these guys set up for you right now.
Oh shit.
More setups.
Holy crap. Oh, if we're having this much difficulty with these guys, the fucking scorpion bitch is gonna be a pain in the ass.
I'm down.
Ouchies! I mean, come on, you probably have had your thoughts of who you would like to see together. Damn it, I'm down. Then don't lie.
I already know my pairing. Yang is with me forever. She's best girl.
Beginning to think I've made a
That's the only pairing I support.
No, that's just copping out, man. That's just copping out. Ooh, I got all 3 of them.
I was caught in the explosion, so yes, I know you got all 3 of them.
I'm sorry. Big dude, help! Billy's scared. Killing.
Stop punching me, bro. But pairings, I always kind of thought there were a few pairings already in place.
Well, of course there were already pairings in place. I mean, it's just like...
I'm down. These big bastards.
I know, I fucking hate these bastards.
They hit way too hard.
That they do! Holy crap. Ouchies. Fuck off.
I know we should be talking about pairings, but this is hard to do. at the same time as this.
Right?
I was always a big fan of Jean and Weiss finally getting together.
Really? 'Cause I never could have
Yeah,
seen that
I was
happening.
always like, I always supported Jean in the first season when he's like trying to, he's like, hey, Weiss, and she's always like, nah. I'm like, come on. I'm like, you know, and he's like, you know, you want it, and she's just like, you're an idiot,
Damn it, I'm down.
and I'm like, you can do it, Jean. I believe in. Ah! I also died.
Shit. I don't think this is gonna happen. Oh. Here's one for you. Might be a little difficult. If you could pair any two characters from different animes, who do you think would make good pairings? Like either romantically or like fighting wise or like just in general.
That sounds pretty fucking gay.
Oh, come on.
Cause this is some fucking fan fiction level shit right here. Like crossover. Oh, this bastard jumped right at the last second.
Oh shit.
You gonna help me kill any of these guys, or are you just like standing in the corner?
Yeah, I'm coming. I got distracted for a second. Sorry. So, I mean, I already know who would make a decent team for like villainesque shit.
So according to
Lelouch Light.
let's make this more interesting.
And it'd also be cool to see those two fight each other.
I believe that that's something that the internet has definitely discussed before.
Has it?
It has to have been. When you look at like their powers and everything, there has to have been an argument, I'm sure, at some point between people about which one would win. And the I'm down. Shit.
Oh, are you kidding me? I had you. I had you. I don't think this is happening. I mean, you want to just call it here for a night? Because it's going on like 10 o'clock.
I'm okay with whatever.
Alrighty, because yeah, like, I don't know. I don't think I can do this much more. I'm fucking tired and I want to turn on my AC. So I'm just going to end my recording.
Host has terminated transferring to